It looks like it's going through. So while this is all setting up, this is a good moment to tell you to make sure that you have your journal. Make sure you have. Looks like it's going through. Oh, it is going through because I can hear myself. Okay, let's do that. All right, we are live on YouTube. How awesome is that? So this is a very, very first for Organize to Elevate. So exciting. Okay, let me get my screen back. Here we are. And I'm going to reshare my screen. Okay, so welcome. Make sure you have something with you to drink. Hydration is very, very important as we're going to be hanging out together for about an hour and a half. And then make sure you have your journal handy because we are going to be doing some journal work. We're going to do some visualization today. We're going to do a lot of fun things to really work on raising our vibe. And then if you were here last week, we're going to talk again about that whole spectrum of energy frequency and emotional frequency. And today's exercises are all about just nudging us up a little tiny bit into higher frequencies. And that's pretty much what we've been playing with this whole positivity challenge. It's just constantly looking at things from the lighter, brighter side. So welcome, Kathy. It's good to see you. So if you're new to the challenge, don't worry, you really haven't missed much. You can go back and see all of the challenge posts in the Organize to Elevate Oasis membership site. They are all hanging out there. And if you've never met me before and you're like, who is this woman who's now live on YouTube? Hi, I'm Camille Prunka with Organize to Elevate. I'm a professional organizer and a high performance coach, and I help people make the most of their space, time, and mindset so we can go out and live the life that we truly desire, the life that is most rewarding for us. And this morning, we're really working on that mindset piece. We are enabling ourselves to raise our vibration. So this way, we are able to bring more of the experiences that we desire fully into our lives. So with that, let's jump into what we are actually going to talk about this morning. We're going to go over the challenge and look at what we have been working on for the past 2 weeks. And again, if you haven't downloaded the materials, I'm going to tell you how to do all of that. It's so easy. We're going to talk about where your vibe is at. We're going to do a brief review of that spectrum of energetic frequency. We're going to do an EFT tapping exercise, a visualization, some journaling, and then we will wrap up with affirmations and if there's any Q&A. But it really is just a time to delight in the fact that we are gathered as a group of like-minded people who are all into embracing positivity. So hi, as I said, I'm Camille Prunko with Organize to Elevate. And this morning's challenge, our party that is leading us into the second half of our positivity challenge, is really about reframing a lot of the self-talk that we have and a lot of the beliefs that are heavy and hard and that we automatically go to because they've been modeled for us and we've adopted them and adapted them in our lives, right? We've taken them on, right? I can't tell you how many times um, I will hear things from people like, oh, today has just been so difficult. Nothing has gone right. And then, like, this litany of complaints that comes after the fact. Instead of, yeah, not everything goes as planned, but my morning wasn't bad, right? Like we get up and we can enjoy wonderful things even when the refrigerator breaks or the AC goes out, right? It's not the end of the world. So, what we're doing here is really taking the spotlight and shining it on all of the good things in our lives. So, the little annoyances are just that. They're little annoyances. And they're not these things that take our emotions and throw them down this very, very deep, dark trail of negativity. And then it spirals into everything else in our life. And remember the manifestation formula: thoughts plus feelings equals actions. So if our feelings are getting into that negative range, it's going to pull our thoughts into that negative range. And negative thoughts plus negative feelings is going to equal more negative stuff. And that's not what we want. So we want to corral those feelings once they start and be like, no, no, I have way more things to be thankful for. This is a small blip. I'm going to keep my thoughts positive, and therefore my actions will remain positive. So, if you don't know who Roald Dahl is a British writer. He wrote so many children's classics, including Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We have been reading that at home. We just finished it and we watched the movie. And my son is all into now being Willy Wonka and having a chocolate factory. But Roald Dahl put it so well. If you have good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams, and you will always look lovely. And it's true. People who smile tend to be perceived as more attractive and better looking, right? So think about that. And when you smile, your voice sounds different. It's the simple act of smiling can change just the whole perception of everything that is going on around you and within you. So remember that having good thoughts, they shine out of your face like sunbeams, and you always look lovely. So let's talk about the challenge. So the positivity challenge is taking place on our member website. It is at members.organize2elevate.com. And Brittany, if you could pop that into the chat, that would be great. This is where you can pick up your trackers. So we have 3 pages that you can work with. The first one is a progress tracker to the actual daily challenges. And you'll see that there's many more than 30 leaves on this branch on this page. And that is because you can do the positivity challenge 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times over. And you can color in a leaf for every time you do the challenge. So this way, you're able to see just how much you are fully participating in the challenge. You can print off multiple ones of these tracker pages, and you can make as many as your heart desires. So give yourself credit every time you smile, every time you're grateful for something, right? Whatever the daily challenge is, color in as many leaves as you possibly can. That way you can continue to see your progress over and over again. Then there's also the Daily Positivity Journal. So this is a page that you can either print out and use as a journal page, or you can use it in your journal, and you can use the format. So this way you're just copying it. You don't have to print as many pages if you don't desire. But the basic thing is you want to have a few points that you're grateful for every single day. You want to be able to take note of what the daily challenge is. You want to craft yourself a daily affirmation. So, whatever it is that you want to use to spur yourself on towards success, it can be something as simple as I am positive, right? That can be your affirmation. I am positive. I am positive. And every time something happens, you just say to yourself, I am positive, right? Or it can be something that's much more in depth, whatever you feel you need. But think about what a daily affirmation would feel like for you. And then maybe you have a couple of goals for the day. Maybe there are things from your to-do list. Maybe there are things that tie into the big goals that you're chasing in life. And then you have space to write your thoughts about how the day went. Reflection is so important because when you look at what is going on in your life and you are aware of it, that's when you are able to make change. So you can use these, as I said, or you can just use the actual format in your journal, whatever works best for you. And then our last page, I love this page. I think this is my favorite of all the trackers, is the Harmonious Life Tracker. So this page allows you to chart how you feel every single day on that spectrum of emotions that we're going to talk about. We talked about it last week and we're going to talk about it in a minute. But if you find yourself having a great day in like the area of neutrality or courage, you give yourself a little green mark. And if you feel like, well, it was a good day, but I did dip into like, I got angry for a couple of minutes. So maybe it was just a good day overall. So you give yourself a yellow where it came to anger, like a little caution mark. And then you might have had a growth day, and you could use blue to symbolize a growth day. Maybe it was a sad day. Sometimes sad things happen, and it's okay to realize where you are and then try to lift yourself as you're going forward. But you want to see a lot more greens and yellows higher up on the spectrum, and as many knock off as many blue days as you possibly can. But growth days do serve a purpose because they allow us to see, okay, I was here and now I've moved past. And when you see them moving past, you should give yourself a lot of credit. And then the bottom part is self-care. So are you sleeping? Are you eating well? Are you hydrating, especially in these hotter months? You can give yourself a good day, a great day, or maybe a growth day on all of your self-care habits. And remember, self-care is essential. It is necessary. You cannot raise your vibe and put yourself in this positive, harmonious state if you are exhausted. You will not have the mental clarity to be able to do that. And so your emotions will start to dip down into the angry area or the grief area, right? You're going to start to fall because you're just too tired to sustain the mental clarity and the emotional clarity of being in a higher vibe. So remember, self-care really ties into every single thing that we are doing in this challenge. So again, your trackers are at members.organizetoelevate.com. They're attached to the first 3 or 4 days of the challenge prompts, and all of the challenge prompts are there, including today's. So we're all the way through day 15, right? And they're no stress. You can do them in any order. It's just to have this awareness of the fact that you can plug into these every day to raise your vibe. So here is what we worked on this week. So day 8, we made a list of our strengths, right? So we could really feel into all the good things we have going on in our lives. And then day 9, we hosted a little celebration for ourselves, right? When we celebrate the small wins, we want to come back and have more of them. So keeping the momentum by just enjoying little things in life really makes a difference. Then we did my pleasant surprise. So we talked about something that surprised you in life that went really, really well, right? A lot of times surprises are thought of as like this negative or potentially upsetting thing, right? Where it's like, oh, I saw that. I didn't see that coming. That wasn't good. I remember when I was pregnant, everyone told us, oh, don't find out the gender. It's like the only happy surprise in life. And I thought, well, it is a happy surprise, but there are other happy surprises too. Like, I don't think this is the only happy surprise in life. So we wanted to tap into when we've experienced those happy surprises so we can expect more of them. Then we talked about tapping into little elegant luxuries, wearing your favorite perfume every day, drinking tea out of a fine china teacup, right? Whatever it is that you save for when it's a special occasion, pull those things out and enjoy them. Now, am I going to be walking around in my wedding dress? No, that's not very realistic for what I have to do in a day. But there are other little things that I absolutely love that I tend to not use and not enjoy because it's, oh, that's for something that's special. No, every day is special. So start pulling those things out and making good use of them. We also talked about intentional inspiration. So, the intentional inspiration is that you are able to hang something in your home or display something in your home that is inspiring to you and putting it somewhere where you can enjoy it every single day. So, a piece of art or figurine or anything, flowers, even just going to the supermarket, buying fresh flowers, putting them in a vase and enjoying them on your kitchen table can really just raise all of the vibes of your space. And when your space's vibe is up, you tend to be more elevated too. My inner light. So we talked about just smiling at people, right? Going around and enjoying smiling at people. So, um, that's the kind of thing that we want to do every day because when we exchange smiles with people, their vibe goes up and our vibe goes up. It's so we have this book for my son that's called Fill a Bucket or something. It's about positivity and that everyone walks around with an invisible bucket. And when you're nice to people, you are filling their bucket with all these stars and rainbows and everything. But when you're mean to people, you're dipping from their bucket, which doesn't fill yours. It actually dips from your bucket too. So it's like this whole metaphor for the kind of emotional stability in children and being nice to each other and not being a bully. And that's what inner light is all about. It's when I shine my inner light and I smile and I'm happy and I'm positive and I invite others to be that with me. I'm filling my bucket, but I'm filling their bucket too. So this whole day 13 of the challenge was about filling another person's bucket just by sharing a smile. And then day 14, as we always do, is a rest and review day. Notice if there's positive shifts that have happened in your life. Go back and be like, you know what? Elegant Luxury Day was fantastic. I'm going to go do that again, right? Whatever it is, or I found another thing that I'd love to have in my space. I'm going to go put out a second, piece of art in my house or whatever it is that helps you raise your vibe. And then you can track all those things on your tracker. So that has been our 2 weeks. Yes, so the YouTube channel for this event is Organized to Elevate on YouTube. That is where we are. Yes, and people come in just through the normal sign in. Absolutely. Okay. Let's keep going. All right, so this was the frequency chart we went through last week, according to Dr. David Hawkins. Basically, what he did was he said these are the the states of emotion in life, and we went through them in great detail last week. So I'm not going to go through them in the same way, but all of our emotions carry an energetic frequency and like you can feel it. You can feel when people are afraid. You can feel when people are in grief. You can feel when people are open and willing to try new things, right? That area of willingness. You can feel when people are giving you unconditional love, right? These are things that they are palpable as we go through life. So our lower frequencies tend to feel very heavy. They tend to constrict us emotionally, right? Like when we are deep into fear, it's really, really hard to see anything beyond the fear, right? It is paralyzing. So we feel stuck. We also feel like we're on the defensive or that we're very disconnected, that nobody understands us. When logically we know everyone experiences this range of emotions, but when we're in those lower frequencies, we feel very isolated. We feel like no one understands us. And it's very draining. People who are depressed and in a level of like apathy, they say that they can't get off the couch because we really don't have the energy to get off of the couch. This is very scientifically documented that the lower frequencies really tend to lead towards illness and this lack of desire to go out and really do anything in life. And it doesn't mean that you have to dwell in those frequencies every single day, right? It doesn't mean that you get up and you're fearful every single day, but we may go through a portion of a day where we feel like that, or a couple of days where we feel like that. And we can really feel like it feels like a weight that is on you, right? I think about when I think about this, I think of like going through a breakup. A lot of times, no one goes, my mom says this all the time. No one goes into a relationship thinking, how's this going to end? Right? Usually we assume that it's going to end in a very positive way. It's never going to end. It's just going to keep going. We're going to enjoy being in this lovely romantic relationship for eternity. And that's not really realistic. And then either we end up initiating a breakup or the other person ends up initiating a breakup, and it feels like everything is over. Life as we know it is done, and we're stuck for a little while. And we don't want to go out and meet anybody, and we don't want to go be with our friends, and we don't want to go to work, right? Because we have this sadness and this new circumstance that we need to process. And that's okay. What's important is that you shift out of it and you realize, okay, there are other prospects out there. There are better relationships that I can engage in. There's more happiness and fulfillment that comes from within me that is not dependent upon this previous relationship. And that's when we start to move into the middle frequencies. The middle frequencies are an unleashing, they are an expansion, a freedom from the lower frequencies. This is where our bodies begin to heal. We start to feel like we're clear thinking, that our thoughts come easily and that we can tap into them. It fosters deeper connection in our relationships when we're in the areas of courage or neutrality or willingness. And we are more magnetic, right? I've heard people say this as, I feel like I'm just in this flow and things I want just show up. And then that's a great clue that you are now in the middle frequencies. And then there's the top frequencies. So love, joy, peace, enlightenment. Like we talked last week when I asked my son, well, do you know anyone? Do you know of anyone who's in enlightenment? And he went, Grandma. And I was like, that's cute, but no, I was talking about Jesus. Like very different range there, spectrum, but it was very sweet how he said that. But yes, those are the kinds of people who have attained enlightenment, Buddha, Krishna, Jesus, really like ascended masters who live very selfless lives. So for us, the top frequencies are not about perfection. They are not about living there 24 hours a day, or we fail and we're awful and we're back in guilt and shame. That's not what this is about. That's the whole point of being in the top frequencies is that you go volunteer, you show up for your friends, you cook dinner for your family. Cooking dinner for your family puts you in love and joy, right? You are taking care of others, you are doing good service, it elevates your frequency. The whole point of being up there is that you are making a conscious choice not to dip, right? Like I woke up this morning and the kitchen looked like someone exploded science experiments in it. And I said, you know what? I can clean this and be mindful and make it a practice, or I can get angry about this and resentful about this and then just be upset all day long. And I chose to make it a mindfulness practice, enjoy the quiet of cleaning my kitchen while everyone was asleep, and then enjoyed having a cup of coffee in my beautifully clean kitchen before anyone could mess it up. So I chose not to dip into that, can anybody clean up around here mode, right? So I reframed my negative thoughts to keep my vibe higher. I was compassionate to myself for not cleaning it the night before and compassionate to my family for making it a disaster zone. And when you're in these higher vibes, you also are more grateful more often. So, like, I'm only too happy that I have a family to make my kitchen a disaster zone, right? Like, I know what it was like to live in a home where everything was perfect and neat, but I was alone and it was boring. And I much rather have this scenario than that for the rest of my life. And being in those top frequencies, it really is this whole idea of stillness and relaxation and presence as opposed to panic, right? Where we're so over stimulated about everything. Everything is a drama. Everything is a problem. Everything needs to be dealt with. Not everything needs to be this big before we go into something, right? Our body is allowed to not be in fight, flight, or freeze. We are allowed to just be in a state of enjoyment. And when you're in those top frequencies and you keep shifting into those top frequencies, you are shifting out of that survival panic instinct within your body that your brain is all too happy to trip the alarms on and be like, oh, everything's a problem, right? No, not everything is a problem. Everything can work out. So every time you shift your vibration, you shift your emotions into something more positive, you shift your experience. Like me not getting upset over the kitchen today. Then when everyone woke up, it was Happy Father's Day and like all this happy stuff as opposed to I hate you, you made my kitchen a mess, right? And it seems so silly and elementary, but it's true. Like if I had gotten myself worked up into a tizzy and made myself all nasty, it would have spilled over once everyone got out of bed. But instead, everyone got out of bed. I was happy. The kitchen was clean. Life was good. So think about these energetic frequencies as you work through your challenge and think about trying to stay up in the higher frequencies, and you'll know it just by how you feel. You will feel the difference. You'll feel the heaviness in the lower frequencies. So let's take a minute. We're going to grab our journals and just take 10 minutes and journal on these three questions. Which emotions or frequencies did I spend the most time in this week? And if it's a lower frequency, that's okay. Give yourself some grace. Everyone has their times where they dip into lower frequencies. It's not about the times you dip, it's about the more time that you pull yourself out of the dip. What helped me move into a lighter, more loving state, even if it was only for a moment? Think about everything that helps you shift. And then what intention do I want to set to keep choosing higher frequencies this coming week, right? What is my affirmation? What do I actually feel is doable for me inside myself to keep myself maybe in a state of courage, neutrality, or maybe I want to get up into acceptance, right? Where I realize I don't have full control over everything, even if I so desire to have full control over everything. So I'm going to set us a 10-minute timer. Let's journal on these, and then we'll come back and we'll do some sharing if anyone feels called to do that. All right, everybody, I will see you in 10 minutes. Okay, everyone. And welcome back from our first journaling set of questions this morning. And if anyone would like to share anything that, came about for them as you were writing, you can either unmute and I'll call you on you, or you can share observations in the chat. One of the big observations for me this week was on the third question, the what intention do I want to set to keep choosing higher frequencies this coming week? My whole theme, I think the past month in my life has been tying up loose ends. I have been all about looking at the house, looking at my business, looking at clients that I'm serving, looking at relationships that I have. And if there are things that are loose, right? Things that haven't come to a natural completion point, right? Like someone gave me a gift and I didn't write their thank you card, right? Little things like that. I'm tying up all those loose ends. Like this week in gentle decluttering, I went through all of Peter's schoolwork from first grade. So this way, I'd have a selection of things I wanted to keep, but more importantly, bags of things to go out to recycle. And that way it would all be neat. And I was able to do it in less than 2 hours, right? 2 sessions and I was done. So little things like that, tying up all the loose ends. So I realized that when I finish projects, I put things away, I clean, I declutter, and more importantly, I continue to delegate as I go through all of those things. It raises my vibe. It protects my energy. I tend to be more positive because there aren't these unfinished tasks that are weighing me down. It's that whole relationship of space, time, and mindset. So I'm actually giving myself the ability to spend more time on preferred activities or relax, right? Like, look at that. Doing the things I actually want to do makes me happy, right? Like when you say it like that, it's like, oh, that makes perfect sense, right? And it's not selfish because I'm still having, and I'm actually improving the quality of relationships that I have with everyone else. So thinking about those loose ends and being very intentional before I start something new. So I do want to grow and I do want to expand, but I'm asking myself as I finish up these loose ends and free up more time, what exactly do I want to be doing with my time? And how do I want to spend my energy? And what's going to protect my energy as I grow, right? Because growing doesn't have to mean that I dip into these heavy lower frequencies to be able to say, oh, well, I grew again. No, I can protect my energy and grow from here. It doesn't have to be this wave. It could be this spiral upwards. That's what we're hoping to attain. So that was a lot of the insights that I gleaned from these questions this morning. Does anyone have anything they would like to share? I'm checking the chat. And if you want to unmute and share something, you are more than welcome to. Everybody's shy today. Okay, that's fine. Sharing, you don't have to share, but if you want to put something in the chat, you are more than welcome to share there with each other. So let's go on into our tapping exercise for this morning. So if you've never done EFT tapping before, it's really simple. You can't get it wrong. Okay. So don't worry like, am I tapping in the right place? It's as long as you are close to the zone of where you're tapping, you're going to be absolutely fine. I'm just checking the chat. Oh, that's great. Okay, so finding that you are in a place where you want to keep moving towards a lighter mood, that is really good work. And setting the intention to do that, taking steps. I love when we pull in other people into our frequency work, like a family member or a trusted friend, and tell them, this is what I want to do, and this is where I want to go. So this way they can help you, right? Um, Caveat to that, do not pull in someone who's going to poo poo all over your parade, right? Pull in a person that you know is going to be a committed partner to your goal. And I think that's great. That will definitely help with raising your frequency. Yes, small joys and engaging in mindfulness and nutritional choices. I love that. So it all comes together, right? It's part of that self-care. When we feed ourselves good nutritional choices, it enables us to keep our energy in a really positive state. So that is so good. Um, Oh, that's yes. So I love that. Some people get really frustrated when it rains during the summer. It's like, oh, it's a rainy, yucky day. And instead, we're reframing it into, okay, well, now I have an excuse to do some inside chores. So this way, then on the days when it's nice, I can just go out and enjoy. I love that I love that whole framing. Excellent work, everybody. Good, good job. All right, let's transition into tapping. If you've never tapped before, we tap on the side of our hands to start. Then we tap around our eyes at our eyebrows, right by the bridge of our nose, by the outside of our eyes, and right underneath our eyes. Then we tap under our nose and right above our lip, right in the divot of your chin underneath your lip, right underneath your collarbones, wherever it feels more comfortable to you, and then on the top of your head. So I will say these statements. You are welcome to say them with me as you tap, and just feel your body getting more and more relaxed as you tap. Feel the stress melting away. So we'll start on our hands. Even though I've been stuck in some negative thoughts, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it's been hard to shift how I feel, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. These heavy thoughts and feelings keep circling. I've been feeling stuck or low. It's been hard to shift my mindset. I honor how I've been feeling, but I'm ready to feel a little lighter now. I release the need to hold on to these negative stories. I give myself permission to let this go. Take a deep breath in, let it out, and we'll do a second round. I'm open to creating more space for peace, joy, and possibility while I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I'm open to feeling more hopeful, more calm, and more clear while I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I choose to soften the tension and make space. I can choose peace in this moment. I allow joy and gratitude to gently rise. I know it is safe to feel good again. I deserve to feel light, free, and supported. Every breath helps me reset and realign. I am stepping into a more positive version of me. Take a nice deep breath in, let it out. Place your hands on your heart and repeat with me. I am ready to think more loving thoughts, feel more peaceful feelings, and create a reality that reflects the light within me. I choose positivity gently, truthfully, and in my own time. I am ready to think more loving thoughts, feel more peaceful feelings, and create a reality that reflects the light within me. I choose positivity gently, truthfully, and in my own time. More loving thoughts, feel more peaceful feelings, and create a reality that reflects the light within me. I choose positivity gently, truthfully, and in my own time. Take a big deep breath in, let it out, and just relax. Put yourself in a really comfortable position, usually for the next activity that we are going to do, which is visualization. I encourage you to just sit up straight and comfortably. Put your hands in your lap, keep your feet on the floor. This way you stay awake and you don't fall asleep. And for this one, you might want to imagine yourself like the woman in this picture, that you are looking at yourself in the mirror, because what visualization is you're going to close your eyes. It's kind of like a meditation, but I am going to ask you to meet your empowered future self. So whoever you are today, wherever you are going to meet the you that is going to be a year from now. So wherever it is that you want to be, we are going to bring that person into reality at this moment. You can think of it as a mirror if that helps, and you are going to meet her. So sit nice and comfortably, and we will get started. You can soften your eyes and just take a nice deep breath in. Again, sitting comfortably with your eyes closed, take a deep breath in and let it out. Feel your shoulders relax. Feel your jaw soften. And if you want to, you can put your hands over your heart and just take one more deep breath to cleanse your whole entire energy and let it out. And now I want you to imagine a soft golden light that is glowing at the center of your chest. It is warm, it is steady, and it is strong. It's very reassuring, very comforting. This is your inner light, a representation of your self-love. Think of it as all the wisdom you've gained over your entire life. And just enjoy this feeling of the light within you. And now I want you to picture yourself 1 year from today. It's June 15th, 2026, and you see a version of you who is standing tall, clear-eyed, open-hearted, and open-minded. that same inner glow within this version of you. She is glowing with confidence, calm, and clarity. Notice how this version of you moves, breathes, how she speaks. What is she doing in life right now that feels aligned, joyful, and free? You might see this version of you smiling at people, having meaningful interactions, taking excellent care of your body, showing it the highest level of love through self-care. Maybe this version of you is calm and is able to handle things that used to be stressful in a much more low-key way. This version of you knows exactly who you are. This version has made space for self-trust, inner peace, and pure joy. So now I want you to ask this version of yourself two questions. The first one is, what do I need to remember right now? Pause and listen to whatever answer you receive and trust it. Again, ask them, what do I need to remember right now? And the next question to ask is, what small step can I take today to align with you? What small step can I take today to align with you? When you're ready, I want you to imagine that this person, this future you, is giving you a gift. They are offering you either a word or an object or a color, some sort of symbolic thing you can take with you that will move you into the next chapter of your life. And I want you to accept this from yourself with the purest gratitude. Now take a nice deep breath in, slow and gentle. As you exhale, thank your future self. Thank yourself for the gift you've received, the wisdom you've learned, just the clarity you've gotten from this connection. And we'll begin to return to the present moment as you take another deep breath in. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes, move your shoulders gently. Return to the room you're in and feel the seat beneath you. Take another deep breath. And you can open your eyes when you're ready, returning to the room that you're in, hopefully feeling more empowered, happier, lighter, and just more deeply connected to yourself. And there's no rush, nice and relaxed this morning. Okay. We're going to grab our journals again. And now, with all of this knowledge that we've gotten, we've raised our vibe through tapping, we've done this visualization. I want you to think about either one, two, three, or all four of these journal prompts. And again, we're going to spend about 10 minutes journaling. So, what's shifted in how you speak to yourself? Have you seen a shift in that this week? What is one limiting belief I caught myself thinking this week? How did it affect my actions or mood? And how can I begin to rewrite it into something more empowering? If I fully believed I was worthy, powerful, and supported, what would I start or stop doing today? What would my energy feel like? And what feels more possible now than it did 2 weeks ago? So, I'm so glad you enjoyed the tapping and the visualization. That's awesome. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that. All right, everybody, I am going to set us a 10-minute timer to dive into these journal prompts. Give yourself some availability to just free write whatever it is that comes to mind. Remember, journaling is not about perfect sentences and writing the great American novel. You can write bullet points. The thing is that you want to be able to go back and reread it and understand what you were writing and reflect on it again so you can continue to grow from the words that you were putting on the paper. All right, everybody, I'm going to set us a 10-minute timer and then I will see you back here. Welcome back, everyone, from journaling. Whatever thought you are currently having, capture it on the page, finish it up, and get it down so this way it does not escape you. And again, the chat is open if you want to share anything that came through for you in these journal prompts. And you are also welcome to unmute and share. I can call on you. I definitely leaned into the third journal prompt this day. And I mean I did them all, but the third one was really like the one that came through the most for me, in that I realized that if I'm worthy and powerful and supported, I won't be making excuses anymore. And it's not that like I make excuses to get out of doing things. Like that's not what I do, but I do make excuses so this way I can stay in my comfort zone. Like we all kind of do that. Like, it's something that would be a stretch that we don't quite feel ready to do. We'll make an excuse like, oh, well, I can't do an hour long class at the gym because, I haven't been working out. So I'm not going to have the stamina for that. Instead of going to the class and just doing what I can do, right? Maybe I can only do like the warm up, and maybe I do the dance steps, but I don't use my arms, right? I can do something. It's just not going to be perfect. And because it's not perfect, or my idea of what I should do, I make an excuse. So this way I have wiggle room, right? There's a reason, there's a very logical reason why I'm not doing what I'm doing. So, so that to me was, well, if I'm all these things, I'm just not going to be making the excuses. And if I'm not making the excuses, well, then what am I going to do? And so it really helped me reframe how I will spend my time. Um, Oh, I love that. So I'm checking the chat. I love the whole working on transitioning out of a job that is not the ideal for me at this moment, and applying for new jobs where I will be calmer and happier. Yes, I highly suggest making a list of all the things you would want in your new job. Everything, practical things like pay and benefits, but the culture of the work environment and the kind of commute you want to have and the type of hours you want to work and the type of flexibility that you want to have and the type of autonomy that you want to have. I would write all that out and really feel into it as possible, because as you go on interviews, you'll then be coming from a place of this is what I desire to have, and you'll be able to see if it's a fit. So, yeah, and feeling more in control over your actions and your decisions than you were 2 weeks ago. Yes. Feeling that sense of, I have choice here and I can exercise my choice. That's amazing. Wonderful insights. Really, really good. Really good. If anyone has anything else they'd like to share, either in the chat or by unmuting, please feel free to do so. Um, so I put that for the last one, what feels more possible for me, it's that today's me is more supported and better operating than yesterday's me. And it just keeps compounding over and over again. It's that upward spiral that we talk about, that it's getting better and better and easier and easier. And I'm feeling better and better every single day, right? That's what we are working towards. So good work, ladies. All right. I should say ladies and gentlemen, because we may have gentlemen watching on YouTube, but whatever your preference is. Good work. Okay. Let's go into some affirmations. So, this morning's affirmations, and remember, affirmations are meant to help you connect to the intention behind them. So, if these words don't work for you, rewrite them in words that feel more comfortable. Use them in ways that feel comfortable. Affirmations do not have to be said in a mirror, right? I do not like talking to myself in the mirror. I feel kind of foolish. But I do love to take my affirmations and write them in my journal. That to me feels like I'm kind of scripting them in this magical book and they become more powerful. So, whatever imagery, whatever modality you need to use to make them work for you, they are working for you, not you for them. So, remember that. So, here are our affirmations to springboard from during this next week. I choose thoughts that are rooted in love, not fear. I am allowed to believe new things about myself, beautiful, powerful things. Old stories do not define me. I am the author of a brighter, freer chapter. With each breath, I raise my vibration and embrace unconditional love. I am safe to let go of judgment and embrace positive intent. And finally, every moment is a fresh chance to align with positivity and possibility. So, try those on. I talk about it like, when we try a new makeup style or a new hairstyle, right? We see how it feels. We buy a new shirt, we try it on, right? Try these affirmations on, see what they bring up for you, right? They might feel really good, they might not. Chuck the ones that don't feel great, keep the ones that are serving you. And I say that with everything. If you come to something and I say something or we do an exercise that doesn't resonate with you, let that go. Don't let that be the thing you dwell on. Dwell on the things that do resonate with you. So this way you take away an uplifting experience from the session. So, if you are wondering, like, how do I get more of this? We are here 7 days a week. This is our current Savvy Squad schedule. It's available a la carte on Meetup. You can join any one of these sessions to either shift your mindset, do focused, impactful work with accountability and community, or learn, right? We have our Savvy Squad meetup every Monday night at 5:30 where we learn actual practices and tools and skills that we can use on the daily to organize space, time, and mindset. And there's lots of fun things that we do throughout the week. So, to let you know a couple of things that are coming up. The Organize to Elevate Book Club is meeting on Tuesday, June 24th at 7:30 to discuss Matt Paxton's book, Keep the Memories, Lose the Stuff, right? It's all about downsizing and decluttering, but maintaining the sentimentality behind your items. So again, that's Tuesday the 24th at 7:30. And if you don't like to read, it comes in an audiobook. So you can listen and then come join in on the discussion. And then Savvy Squad. These are our Monday night 5:30 classes. So this Monday, we are talking about how to simplify meal planning in summer heat. I'm going to talk about nutritious choices that are easy and are not going to have you slaving over a hot stove. I don't know about you, but I do not like turning my oven on in the summer. So this is going to be either quick, easy recipes or stoveless recipes for the summer. Then week 4, we talk about savvy abundance. We're going to talk about manifestation fatigue and what to do when your abundance isn't showing up. And we're not just going to talk about surrender. We're going to talk about some practical things you can do. And then week 5, we have a savvy bonus this month because there's 5 Mondays. We're going to talk about making organizing fun. So if you have ADHD, some kind of neurodivergence, or if you are just bored by the fact of trying to constantly clean things up and put things away, we're going to talk about gamifying your organization. So this way, your brain will want to come back for more because it is enjoyable. And then these are all the places that we hang out on social media. So I am on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Organize to Elevate, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Organize Elevate, and now on YouTube at Organize to Elevate. So lots of fun places to connect. Just checking the chats. Okay, yes, I'm excited for our upcoming weeks. And then these are all the ways that we can get in touch. So that is my cell. I am also on Voxer. My email address is hello@organized2elevate.com. My website is organized2elevate.com, and that QR code takes you to the Oasis where our positivity challenge is. You can set up your own account if you haven't already, and it is 100% free. And there's more information that we are working on loading up there. So it's going to become even more robust over this summer, which I'm super excited about. You don't even need to get emails. You can opt out of emails and still have a free account to come and hang out and get all of the fabulous materials that are up there. So, that is our party for today. I hope that you have all had a wonderful time raising your vibe and getting yourself into a new state. So, I'm going to stop the YouTube live share and or live stream, and then we will wrap up our session. So